Okay, welcome you guys to this little Zoom chat. My name is Angie Archibald, and I have bothered Janet Marquez and Desiree Mangendog and Jackie Hess to join me on a little video call today because I can't stop thinking about and researching and learning about two things: energy work and essential oils. And these ladies know what that's all about, and they know how to put those things together to really bless our lives. So what we're going to do today is just talk about what is energy work, how we can use it in our daily lives, and really, ladies, the target I would like for you to imagine in your minds as your target for this call, two separate audiences. Okay, we have regular moms who are just learning about how to take care of their families in a natural way. That's one of our audiences. But the other one is other people who are already using energy work, but maybe haven't really put essential oils to work with their energy work. And so I would like to see if we can help those two groups kind of learn a little bit today. And I am one of the moms. I think I'm in both camps. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I'm always in both camps. So, okay. So I'm going to ask questions and you can just jump in if you have a thought. Okay. Okay. So in a nutshell, somebody tell me, what is energy work? If that's a new term for somebody, what the heck are we talking about?
Okay, so everything is an energy. Okay, there's no way around it. The way that your blood circulates throughout your system, the way that your heart beats, that's an energy. There's a pulse there. Music, when you listen to it, that's energy. They're vibrations, they're frequencies. Okay, so our emotions and our thoughts all have a frequency. It all has a vibration. So if you think about let's just imagine being angry. What is it like to be angry? Angry is extremely constricting, right? And it also has this bubbling aspect where it's just like, right? so there is a frequency, there's a vibration to that. So there's no way that you can't believe in energy work. Otherwise, your heart would stop beating. So it's not anything that's so woo-woo, right? I mean, you look at Western science, and they can measure brainwave patterns and how certain thoughts have a certain brainwave. They all have a frequency to it. So here's the thing. The frequencies that are within our system, within our bodies, affect our physiology. It affects our hormone functions, our hormone levels. It affects blood circulation. It affects blood pressure. I mean, it doesn't take someone to believe in this woo-woo life to think that maybe anger could contribute to increased levels of your blood pressure increasing. Correct? So there's nothing so strange about it. Everybody has experiences of these frequencies. So when you're sad, the frequency is very downwards. It's very downwards. It's coming in. There's no expansion in there. So energy is not anything that is so strange or you can't understand. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. So sometimes people just don't verbalize and vocalize what it is. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me about this though. How can one person who has learned how to affect energy change the energy in somebody else, and not even necessarily somebody that they're in the same room with, but somebody who's, in another state? Janet, do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So this is the way that I understand it. I mean, I've been taught in the certifications that I've done and things like that. I have been taught of energy as like, you can feel it. You can feel the heat, or you can feel, just going like this, you can feel, or even like they have those cameras that can see that you have, a heat coming off of you and things like that. So that's what I understood energy to be. The way that I understand it better though is affecting each other, because who knows that friend that you just go around and you feel like a better person because you're with that person. They add to you. I mean, I remember the first conversation I had with Desiree, a real conversation about this type of things, and I was on fire. She had just built me up. She had brought out my life. And so you have these experiences. I have lots of friends out there that when I want to go have fun, they have a fun energy and I bring them into my life. Or lots of friends that are like, they're more serious and calm and grounding for me, or lights, or, you know, things like that. When you think of it as people and personality, you're like, of course you add or you take away from my life. Because there's also those people you get around and you feel like.
That's a good visual, Janet.
So true.
Oh,
it's so true. And, you know, I remember one of my acupuncturists, he described qi, which is in Chinese medicine, energy is qi, right? He said there's a story where there are these two little fishes out in the ocean, in the sea. And then one fish goes to the other fish and asks, so, hey, what's all this water they're talking about?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Because it's freaking everywhere. I mean, haven't you guys learned basic science with, like, you know, atoms and protons and electrons? Those are moving, like, we're, you know, basically atoms that are in constant motion. That's energy. Albert Einstein knows this. Like, it's not any, like, fairy concepts, guys.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So
yeah.
that's how somebody can help affect the energy in somebody else across space, right? How did you come across, like, I keep using the term energy work. That's a general term for what we do, right? Or you do.
It is. Yes.
So how did each of you come across energy work? Like, where did you find it? How did it become a part of your life?
Okay, go ahead, Janet.
Well, I mean, as a kid, I mean, if I'm really going back, I remember as a kid waking up in the middle of the nights and just feeling something, you know, like I'd have to go and like read scripture, or because the way that I was feeling it generationally was energy was a very scary thing, you know, and so when I felt it, I was really susceptible to a lot of negative energies. And so at the age of 13, after having years and years and years of not being able to sleep at night, even throughout the day, feeling like, oh, I'm so grateful I'm not feeling that feeling, you know, I finally I learned about, in the church that I go to, there's the men possess a power, and I asked a priesthood power, and I asked my dad to just use that to get this off of me and get it out of me, and he did, and it was gone forever. Like it changed the way that I received that energy, and I was now protected at a level that I had never experienced before. And then, so that was my first experience of feeling that there was a power, that there was the protection, that there was good and there was bad. And so, and then as I started getting certified in some different things as far as healing, and I do a foot treatment and a couple of other things. It was in every single certification where they talked about, people called it all sorts of things, from chi to energy to spirit to vitalization. But the idea was that there was something beyond us doing the work, doing the actual healing work. So that's how I got introduced to it. And then I felt it in the oils. I remember the first time I used a bottle of lavender and felt like, there is something more to this. There's a frequency, I guess. There's something that spoke my soul. So that's been my experiences.
Okay.
So cool.
And Janet, how did you get connected with Desiree though on this?
Oh my goodness. Desiree and I, when we met, when she hit Diamond for the first time, I was so inspired by her, and I tracked her down at convention and picked her brain, and she inspired me then, and then we got to stand in line together, ironically, right?
Yes. I remember the Diamond walk.
Diamond. And then we connected in that way. And it was really interesting because I went through a time after we hit Diamond, and I got pregnant, and I just got attacked. My energy was taken from me. I felt like I wasn't passionate about anything anymore. I felt like I had lost myself. I woke up in darkness every day, just feeling like I had all of this responsibility and all of this like expectation on me, but feeling like I didn't have what it took to push through. And it was a really tough time. And after having the baby and then trying to really get back into my passion and my life, I just was constantly hitting wall after wall. And I was scheduled to lead a mastermind call. And I was just feeling like some other things had come up, and I was feeling just totally drained by even the thought of doing it and how I was going to do it. And I just had the thought come to my mind that I should call Desiree and ask if it was something that she was in a space that she could do that day. And she did. She took it, and then she called me afterwards and was like, Janet, I hear in your voice that there is something wrong. And we just had a conversation. That's the first time that she did her energy work on me with the oils. And I woke up the next day feeling like not just myself, but like I felt like I could write a book. I felt like I could do anything God asked me to do. Like I was just like literally on fire, glowing. And I called her up and I was like, what did you do? and she put her 12-week course, and I was able to do that course. And it was just, I am a new person. I am on fire to my gifts. My purpose and passion is I have the gift of being able to see in other people their potential and who they really are. Like when I see people, they are glowing, they are divine. I see in their body I feel in their body their different passions and where they're stuck and where they need to release them. And it's like, I'm on fire to that. My job is to wake people up to who they are and then get them moving on it. Because if we all lived in our strength and our gift before we came to this earth, I am so sure of this, that we were sent down with the job to do, and we were sent down with tools to do it, gifts, special gifts to do those things. And so if you're not doing those things, of course you're gonna feel yucky, you're gonna feel stuck, you're gonna feel frustrated, all these pointless emotions like worrying and sadness and withdrawn and all these different things, because you don't feel that there's a gift of love stuck right here, a gift of love that you are meant to project out, and people feel it's special and important just because you're standing in the room. No wonder you're sick. And so it came from being able to go through what Desiree taught me, and now I'm teaching other people. And life is life, and to rise and become better. And as we rise, everyone around us rise. The city of Enoch, how do you think they rose?
Oh my gosh.
Because they were all connected. They were all living in their truth. They were all serving and loving and like a symphony doing their parts. No such thing as ego or jealousy.
Yeah.
They didn't need it. They knew who they were and what their job was.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yay! Woohoo!
Great. I love listening to you talk, Janet.
I know.
She's so passionate. Okay, Desiree, tell us how you got. I think you were born with this. Tell us how you got into this, and then Jackie, I want you to unmute yourself and tell me how you got into energy work too.
Okay, so for me, I just was passionate about natural health, and when I went to a Chinese medical school to visit to do the massage program for a month, I during my summertime, actually no, it was 3 months, I got introduced to Chinese medicine because that's where they also taught Chinese medicine. So they had massage program, Chinese medical program, and when I went there, I had to take some basic classes like Oriental Medicine 101, and then also learning like Tai Chi, Qigong, things of that nature, because it was Oriental body work. And as I started taking these courses like Qigong and Tai Chi, I noticed as I practiced them, and I did karate as in high school for a little bit, but like playing around with chi and moving energy. And then we would do exercises and meditations where I would just kind of feel the chi in my hands. And like, if you ever do this, if you just really focus on it and you kind of imagine like circulating the chi, like it's a chi ball, like an energy ball, and it's moving around in clockwise or counterclockwise, however you want to do it. And I started feeling it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling something. And it was like, it weirded me out. Like, why am I feeling this stuff? It feels like there's an actual ball in between my hands when there's nothing there. And so I didn't see it at the time, but that drove me nuts. And then like when I would work on people, when I would just massage people even, I would feel like a sinking of energy, like they're trying to, because it's so deficient. They're like pulling, dragging me down. Or I massage and I'd feel not just a physical like lump on their body, a knot, but like something is just stuck, like it wouldn't move, like my body wouldn't bust through it. So I would have these interesting sensations in me learning body work, and because I did massage for 5 years before I became an acupuncturist. And then as I go and needle people, I would feel like pops, like my whole body would pop, like, oh my gosh, I must have just opened something. So little by little, I added up these experiences, and I just became masterful at it and played with it. There were times where I was afraid because I am a believer, and I thought, oh my gosh, am I doing like evil work? Like I even considered 4 years into Chinese medical school leaving it because I thought I was doing something evil. But I prayed deeply, and God was like, no, this is not evil. It's like, it's almost like saying, oh, your circulatory system is evil. Oh my goodness, those blood vessels and arteries, like that's how I look at energy and meridians. They're literally just channels, just like your arteries and your vessels. Got it? So there's nothing evil about it. It's just another layer of looking at it. And so for me last year, in July is when everything popped open, where now I can see it, I can smell it, I could feel it, I could taste it. And I went to a Tony Robbins seminar where they did hypnotism, and it was after the hypnotism, which was pretty wild. I had a couple of months, it was very difficult, but I was able to see demons, angels. And so I'm able to see the other realm. I see the unseen. I see the energetic hooks. I can see people with tons of hooks on them. I see all their chakras and all their meridians. I can smell it. And some, emotions aren't so pleasant. And so anyways, like the Chinese medical theory and understanding is very true. So in Chinese medicine, for example, the kidneys and bladder are associated with fear. So if people have a lot of fear, they'll notice they have all kinds of kidney issues. And then the smell associated with that is it's putrid, like urine. So when I am around somebody who's very afraid, they smell and taste putrid to me. They smell like urine to me. So like diabetics, they have a sweet taste in their mouth, or a sweet sense of smell in their breath. So it's pretty remarkable to see, like you can pick up basic books like The Web That Has No Weaver, that's understanding basic Chinese medical principles, and you can connect the two. So now I'm in another space, and some people, guys, you may feel it. Maybe like when you're talking to someone, all of a sudden your throat just kind of like dry, or it starts to get tightened, or your heart, it feels like it's aching when you're talking to someone. So everyone experiences energy in their own unique ways. Like I think Janet, she really feels it in her body when she's communicating with somebody. And so you take that information and then you can match it with whatever oils or exercises or food that people need to shift that out. So it's been quite a discovery from the age of 19 for me.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Jackie. How's it going?
Hi, I'm just pulling in. If you'll give me 30 seconds to get these kids out of the car.
Okay.
I can talk.
Yeah, no problem. But don't you know you're supposed to just keep the AC on and keep them in the car and lock the doors, and then you make laps around the car? That's how I do it.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Like, why are you getting them out? That's just more trouble for you.
They're actually going to go in and have a snack. So.
Oh, good. Okay, well, actually, I'm going to move on to this next question. It actually does, and then we'll come back to Jackie. I want you to weigh in on this next question, okay? When you can.
Okay.
But Desiree alluded to this topic. So she's like, well, I was learning all these things and I thought, I'm a believer. I don't know how this works together with my faith. And so I know that a question that a lot of people who have a Christ-centered life and they live a life of, faith,
Yeah.
when their first encounter energy work, they have that hesitation. And actually people have asked me that as their very first question.
Ooh,
I don't know if I can do this because
that's a great answer.
Yeah. So how can energy work be complementary to a Christ-centered life and a life of faith?
Right. Well, guess what? Did you know that Jesus Christ was the master energy worker of all time?
Right. He lays his hands on people and heals them.
And heals them. And he's like, okay, you demons, get out of you and go into the pigs. Like, I don't know what you want to call that, but I mean, I think, and this is another way I say it, I think Jesus is the greatest witch of all time. Because, oh my goodness, you think about what he does. He does magic all day long. I mean, let's just get a few loaves of bread and, some fish and just turn it into 5,000. Like, okay, like why do we, I don't understand. To me, that's Satan. I think that's Satan wanting us to believe that magic isn't real, that miracles isn't real, that healing is not normal. When you look at what Jesus did, all he did was heal, and it was by faith. You know what faith is? That's intention. What that is intention. It's focused intention, and he knew he could do it. You know that your ability to do effective energy work is directly based on if you really believe. So it's by your faith that you're healed, right? You believe that you can create that change. And let me tell you, when I first started doing this with essential oils and putting it on chakras and meridians and acupuncture points and stuff, I would audibly hear God, the Holy Spirit, and he would be like, tell them to put lemongrass on their throat. And I'd be like, okay, hey, you know what? How about we try this? Let's get some lemongrass and let's put it on your throat. Let me see if it makes you feel any better. So I listened to the Holy Spirit and then I obeyed. I responded. I didn't care if they thought I was crazy. So as I kept doing that, I would see results, and I'm like, okay, this is totally not crazy. It's coming from God. It's not evil, because I have the ability to see demons, right? So it's coming from the Holy Spirit. The angels are with me, and you need to have faith that God is the one guiding you in these things. And then ask for that. Ask for guidance. Ask for angels. Ask for his presence in all of this. And he shows up. God isn't going to take your prayer and just ignore it. He doesn't ignore us. He's always there, always available. And I was continually asking in my prayers, God, is this the direction I'm going to go? And he's like, absolutely, you must. My children are suffering. They're hurting. They're hopeless. They're in pain. They don't even want to live anymore. And so, and at one point, because if you look at my journal writing, I'm like, this is so crazy. I don't want to do this. Too much responsibility, blah, blah, blah. I mean, think about the amount of people that I talk to every day. It's a lot of responsibility, but then again, that's another topic of nourishing yourself. But God told me in my writings, as I was writing, he said, if you don't do this, then humanity will die. And I was like, okay. So in the end, it must come from you and the Spirit. It must be confirmed in you. And because over and over again in my prayers, God confirmed to me that this is important, that this work matters, and this is a work that people need, that he's the one that's giving it to me, actually. And I credit God for all of my blends, all of my protocols. I did not create it. It was the Holy Spirit. I was just a vessel. I was just the hand and the pen, and he just wrote through me. And because I'm so certain of that, I have no doubt. Now, if you have doubt in it, then don't dabble in it. Don't do it. You must always come from a place of certainty in Christ. And so because I have that, I have no fears, worries, or concerns. Plus, I see things, and I have way too many testimonials, and people are actually getting closer to God because of all these blocks that are being opened. So if you have to go through a personal journey of figuring out if this is right or wrong, then go ahead. God wants us to question him and ask him and be genuine. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I want to hear from Jackie, if you can. Jackie, tell me how energy work aligns with your point of view from faith and how you came upon it. Oops.
Okay, am I?
There you are. Yep.
Okay. So I started with energy work. My little lady a few years ago wasn't growing. She quit growing at like 9 months. And I come from a medical background. And when modern medicine failed me, I was complaining to a girlfriend one day, and she said, okay, so I do this thing. It's kind of weird, but I want you to go home and pray about it. And if you feel right, let's do it. I think it could help her. And in that moment, I didn't need to pray about it because I knew like this was my answer to my prayer that I had been praying for. What is wrong with my baby and how can I help her? And so it was easy for me to be accepting of energy work because modern medicine failed me. They couldn't figure out what's wrong with my baby. Feed her, quit breastfeeding her, give her more calories, she should grow. But what modern medicine doesn't understand is how our emotions affect our body and how if you don't want to live, your body will stop growing. It will stop functioning properly. And so that's how I got into energy work, through a friend of mine. So she introduced it. I've been working with her for a few years. She does body code, emotion code.
I know that one. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good modality. I'm kind of familiar with a lot of different ones. And I also, in that same time frame, I don't know if you guys know Carol Tuttle. She's into Utah. She does energy different. She does a bunch of different things, but she also teaches other people, mostly women, about how to live your truth, how to live in that and what that looks like. And so in her world, that program she created, it's called Dressing Your Truth, or Living Your Truth. I'm a type 2 in that world. And what that means is I relate to the world very emotionally. I feel what everybody else is feeling. And a lot of times a type 2 is called a crybaby when they're little. They whine a lot because they don't use their words because they feel everything. So that really resonated with me too. And that was like the first door that opened. And then the second door was with her helping my baby. And then she just said, I think you'd be great at it. I think you need to get certified in it. And my husband does anesthesia, and he's not open to things like that. He doesn't understand them, and I don't explain them very well.
But he doesn't want to understand them either, actually.
No, he doesn't. He thinks everything's silly, and he's kind of not supportive. But I'm a little bit stubborn, and he knows I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. So we just move on. We just keep doing what we need to do. So what was your next question? Oh, how that relates to my belief system?
Yeah.
Well, for me, some things I just don't need to pray about. I just feel it. I feel it before it's almost like he knows me. And I believe that he knows each of us individually. And I just, as I begin, I feel like I'm the baby of the group in a part that I don't know. I haven't experienced all my talents yet. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if I'm an empath or not. I feel like I'm very connected to certain people in my life that I can tell 1,000 miles away if they're hurting, if they're having a bad day. I can feel that, but I can't do it for all of mankind. So, thankful for Desiree. But I feel like it aligns perfectly with his plan. In the scriptures, it talks about everybody when they talk about the talents and the gifts and how some people are given them and they multiply them and they get better, and some people hide them or bury them. Mm-hmm. And I think we're, like Janet said, we're all given this special gift, and it's what you do with it. Are you going to use it for a higher purpose, or are you embarrassed by it or not understand it, so you hide it? I think I've done that a lot. Hide it, or it's hard for me to talk about with people who are non-believers because I don't like confrontation at all. And I get very in a nervous, it's hard for me to explain things when I feel like you're questioning and doubting me anyway. So especially, and that comes, I think, from my husband's energy. But anyways,
yeah,
I think I don't think it goes against anything I've done.
No.
And I just count it as like an extra gift. He trusts me to reach out and help his children, and I'm grateful for that.
Dear Jackie.
Desiree has some thoughts for you and for your husband, I think.
Great. Tell me anything.
Boy, do I.
Right. Look at this is my Desiree notebook right here. So I'm ready for it.
Okay. Number one, you are an empath, you are an intuitive, you're a healer, you are not really embracing it whatsoever. You're afraid of it. You care too much about what people think. You have very low self-confidence, low sense of self-worth. The beautiful thing is that we can alter all things, all of this very quickly. If you do not stand in your gifts, okay, this is another radical thought. If you do not live out your gifts, you will die. It will kill you. It'll haunt you and then it'll kill you. This is why so many people have all kinds of diseases, because they are not walking in their light. They're not walking in their truth. And you know what? If you don't, if you're not living in light, in your truth, what is there? Darkness and death. And so then the body starts to shut down. Welcome to a world of inflammation. It's the body eating itself. Autoimmune disease, you know what? You're going to waste your life and just sit around and be afraid and care too much about what people think. The body starts to eat itself and then it dies. Okay? So you must stand in your power. I mean, if you want to die, fine. If you want to die a painful death and go through all these symptoms and diseases, by all means, everybody has a right to. That's the free will about it. But if you don't step into your truth, it's going to hurt. So you have to. And you actually have a lot of possession problems, Jackie. You need to get rid of them. You've been attached to some of these for a very long time. So I don't know, have you done any of the 12-week protocols?
I just listened to Hooks.
Okay. You need to start with the possession removal, which is 5 drops of oregano on the spine, and then 5 drops of lemongrass on the spine, and then 1 drop frankincense on the third eye. And then you move into the hook removal. You have thousands of hooks. You have upwards of around 8,800 hooks. Honey, you can't function that way.
It's so true.
And you have no protection, no boundaries. You need to start developing a sense of self-respect. You matter. You matter. And you need to have some space. And your husband has a gigantic hook in you. So we're going to pull that out. He might have a little breakdown. That's okay. He needs it.
Yes, he does.
He needs it. So make sure you go through that. Hopefully you have somebody to help you. You're going to be just fine. You know that we're here. I'm going to put both of you ladies in the Essential Oils with Desiree group if you're not already. Are you ladies in there?
We're in Janet's group, but I would love to be added to yours.
Okay, so then you can listen to, they're already up. All the 12 recordings are there. The session 1 is kind of up high, but you have to scroll down. So sorry, you got to scroll all the way down to listen to the other recordings. Just make sure you listen in order. Yeah. But I've got all 12 weeks up there. So you can, work with Janet, and then you can hear me on this side in case there's something that you didn't get with Janet. And then there's things you get with Janet that you don't get with me. So that's so awesome. Like each one of us has extreme talent and unique gifts, and we all serve each other. Yeah.
What my takeaway when I did even just the first session with Janet was this feeling of like limitlessness. Like I can actually do whatever God sees in me to do. I can do it, So.
Oh my gosh. And that's only with session 1.
That's just one. I've only done one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And this.
I don't understand why I need more than one. Like it was
amazing. Okay, let me tell you. By the time you go through 12 weeks, look at Janet. Isn't she just in this amazing space? Like she is, I am woman, hear me roar. She's so dynamic. She's so captivating, and she makes you shift when you just listen to her, right? So that's because she's went through the 12 weeks. Like, you're just scratching the surface, Angie. And get this, guys, the 12 weeks is only like level 1. I actually have 7 levels. So that's just the first round. And that's what I'm working on, to make all this stuff available for people. So I have all these other books that I got to come up with. But I am telling you, I mean, it's one to awaken yourself. Now it's after you do that, it's time to awaken others. And that's the space that Janet is in right now, because she feels all this like freedom and life and energy and passion and just the fire from God. Like, for me, the love of my Heavenly Father is surging through me all the time. And people ask me, how do you not get tired? Aren't you sick of all these people messaging? I'm like, no. They're God's people. I love them. And God shows me how much he loves them. I feel his love for his people. Why in the hell would I be tired of that?
Yeah, it lights you up instead, right? It feels
yes, yeah. Why would I be exhausted? Are you kidding me? Like, what kind of a world is that? That's scarcity. That's, I don't have enough energy, because I'm not using all my energy. Yes, I have to replenish myself, but what I'm using is the Holy Spirit. That is infinite, guys. There doesn't tap out. It's infinite.
Yeah.
And thing to add to that is that you living in your true virtue of who you are makes your kids better and your husband better. Your relationship between your husband will improve, and you will realize the immaculate mother that you are will never even pop in a question. You will never question, I'm such a bad mom today. Hide out and just do coloring all day so that I can feel like I'm a good mom. No, you're a fantastic mother, and standing in your virtue and sharing your gifts with others only testifies to your children that it's possible, and that love is not endless. Love flows through everything. I can love my children as much as I love the person that I'm helping on the phone, or that comes to my door saying, I just felt like you could help me and I have no idea why. I know why. Come on in. Your kids need to see you doing God's work, people. They need to see you doing it.
Yes.
Yes, it's true. Okay, let's move on to this next question that I have. So, I never did introduce or talk about, Desiree has a course that she has created that she's working on bringing to the world, right? And she's already doing it with some people. And the basis of the course is it's using certain essential oils on certain, would you call it chakras, or what was the word?
Yes, I do apply on chakras. I also apply on acupuncture points and along meridians.
And are you also teaching people affirmations or thoughts that they should be keeping along it's combining these things, right?
Yeah, some of my of the 12 weeks, some of them do have affirmations. I'm writing it right now so that I can publish it. So I'm going to have affirmations with each one. But here's the cool thing is that, by the way, when we're working on stagnations, because emotions and thoughts get trapped in our bodies and in our spirit, it's also accessing the subconscious mind. That's what the subconscious mind is. It's the rest of our body. Mm-hmm. So when we use essential oils vibrate extremely high, it's like blaring music, like an opera singer, when they hit that note and like the glass cracks, that kind of vision. I want you to understand how intensely powerful these essential oils are. Even if you don't use them in the most educated way like I teach, you still get a result, because low vibration thoughts like I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm a terrible person, those kinds of that's a vibration, guys. It's a very low vibration. And when you put essential oils like lemongrass to that, or melaleuca to that, and frankincense or melissa, and bam, it just blasts it out. So it's very hard, like Janet was saying, it becomes very difficult to go back to those old patterns, because it's been shifted up and shifted out of your system, out of your subconscious mind. Then you have new neural pathways and a new way of being. And once you get there, you're there. And I'm not saying you can't retreat back a little bit. You could, but in all honesty, if you stay with it, it's hard to go backwards.
it's painful to go backwards when you feel the level of truth and it, like how you were saying, Angie, how you just felt like on fire. Are you really going to choose to do something that's going to make you feel different than that? It makes choices very easy. Because you feel, this made me feel this is how I'm supposed to feel all the time. And then you think a thought that makes you feel this way. You realize, I'm going to put an oil on for that thought because that does not belong in me. It's gone. That's the difference between the work that I was doing before I had oils, before I was incorporating oils. Yeah. The shift was so minor that sometimes people didn't, they would have to come back to me.
Right. They also had to rely on you to make the shift, right? But once you've taught people how to use oils,
you know, or that they could feel better. So I was getting lots and lots of people very dependent on me, which was exhausting.
Yes.
And I'm not God. I'm not meant to be, you know? And so where the oils, they do such a huge vibrational shift. They make you stand in your space and in who you are. Like when you leave a treatment, you realize, holy cow, this is who I am. So when you step out of it, you notice, you realize there's a choice there.
Yeah. You know, visually when you guys are describing this, I almost feel like we see train tracks, right? But without essential oils, we can shift tracks. Like we can pull a lever and shift tracks.
Yes.
But where we're employing the oils, it's like we're raising up to the second level or the third level. And in order to get back down to that lower track, you'd literally have to find a way down. You'd have to climb yourself down, right? Almost like a spaghetti bowl of interchanges on a freeway. Like you would have to make a severe effort and figure out how to climb yourself down to the lower track again once you've moved up, right?
Exactly. Yes. And you know, there's many other methods that you can achieve this. I have just found that essential oils work very quickly. I mean, extreme. I tell people some of my sessions that I do with people for 2 minutes that I put oils on, that's equivalent to like 50 acupuncture sessions.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's like, I don't have time. I don't want to take 6 months for you to get a result. Let's do it in the next 2 minutes.
Right. And acupuncture is extremely valuable. And it was, especially to you when you were learning it. It was your next step up, right? It was amazing.
It was. And I use it, and I love acupuncture. I really love acupuncture. I love chiropractic. I love naturopaths. They're amazing. They're awesome. And there is a place for that. And you know what? I believe that most people, that's where they've got to go. The people who really believe these essential oils can make these shifts and they're open to that, you're talking about a certain group of people. You're talking about a certain like culture, a certain tribe, because it takes extreme openness for people to believe these oils to work in the way that they do.
Right. So one of the things that I talk about with my my friends and my team is, no matter where you are on the spectrum of wellness, like if you're addicted to fast food and you're just really kind of sick of the life you're living and you haven't ever used natural health of any kind, essential oils can help you. Like they are for you. Yeah. It doesn't matter and we don't judge you for where you're at. We're glad that you're trying to make progress, right? And then there's people on the other spectrum like you, Desiree, who came from this, Chinese medicine training. Essential oils are for you, and everyone is welcome here. So I love that. The same is true for energy work too. You can still benefit and be blessed by doing some of these sessions and using oils if you're open to it, if openness is really all that's necessary, right?
Yes, that's it.
Awesome.
About it for me is that my focus went from being the know-all, come to me, to then now my focus is actually empowering people to be able to have their own intuitions. They have their box of oils at home, and they can go to God and they can say, what do you need today? And it's a pathway of just, it's a temporary, learn from me, take knowledge, I'm just a stepping stone to them shining in their brightness and surpassing me in their gift, because that's their gift.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything better than that. I can't think of, you can lead a man to water, but you can't make him drink. You can, what's another one? You can
teach a man to fish or give him a fish or whatever, right?
Fish, or you can teach a man how to fish.
Right.
it is so simple to teach somebody how to use these oils, and then they get on their own pathway. And I mean, this has only been a 5-year journey for me of being introduced to essential oils. And it's just been in the last year, being able to put my modalities together and realize how amazing that is. So it's a path, it's a journey, but just giving one person a bottle of Breathe because their nose is stuffy gets them on a journey of waking themselves up. And you know what? It won't have, things are moving so much faster now. People are going to learn what I've learned in the last 5 years in the 12 weeks.
Yes,
right.
It's true. People right now, it's so much lighter around the world because, I know the news may want to depict that there's a lot of crazy and a lot of evil, and there is. I'm not denying that. But you know what? There's actually more love out there. There's more love, and it's expanding. And so people, when I do the 12, and actually, the 12 weeks, you don't have to do 12 weeks. You can do it about every other day. You could do the 12-week program every other day right now. You don't have to do once a week. And so people are shifting faster and faster and faster. And I think pretty soon, maybe in a couple of months, people could do one a day. In all honesty, one a day, and change everything in less than 2 weeks. So, and the whole purpose of that is for you to be completely open to God so that you're hearing his voice all the time, not like once in a while, but no, all the time, that you're listening to your intuition all the time. Because for me, the intuition is nothing more than the spirit speaking to you. That's what it is. Right. It's truth, right? And so if you lead your life that way, you have nothing but success and abundance. There's nothing but success in that because you're covered, because you are doing God's work. And so he's going to make sure you have all the resources necessary to accomplish his mission, his will on this earth. And that's my faith. So, and if you don't do that, you know what? Why could God can't give you tons of resources because you're not even going to use it. You don't even know how to use it. You don't even know how to listen to him or yourself or know your truth. So that is the purpose of Awake Yourself, is to get you in that space.
Well, the amazing thing about it as well is that I used to be motivated by money and by being safe, feeling secure. Things that I would do were very much driven out of what was I going to get out of it, and moving into a space where you realize how good it feels to hear God's voice all the time. All the time. Having him tell you little things like, just smile at that person. Oh my word, I'm not motivated by money or that stuff is taken care of. I know I'm going to have food on the table. I know I'm going to have all the things that God wants me to have because I'm smiling at the people he told me to smile at. I am doing whatever he asks me to do, and it's not hard. It's actually completely effortless because I love the way I feel when I'm being obedient, and all blessings come upon obedience. There is not a single blessing you can attain by your own strength or your own will. You'll just hit cycle after cycle. So the light of Christ is addicting.
Awesome. Absolutely, it is. Oh, it feels so good. I can't even describe how it feels to tap into it for your first time. So I guess that's my next question is, how can just picture a mama who she's not trained in any of this. She's not been exposed to any of this before. How can she benefit immediately? Mm-hmm. How can she benefit immediately from energy work?
Super simple. This is my go-to with skeptics. Because, you teach a class and you see those people with their arms all crossed and like, yeah, what are they going to sell me today? That whole thing. One of the simplest things, I find a way to wiggle my way into their heart and just say, would you like to try just some Melaleuca right here? Just right here, that's it. It'll actually open up the chest and help you to breathe a little bit better so you can take some deeper breaths and to calm you down. So it always works, is Melaleuca right here, if that's all that they are open to. And what that does is, this is the lung, pericardium, and heart channels. This goes right to the chest. Most likely, these people have energetic hooks, and a lot of people get hooks right on the chest. So when you put Melaleuca right here, just a drop, hooks will start to come off. It'll fly off, and they'll open up their space in their chest cavity, and they'll all of a sudden be like, oh my God, I feel so much better. And you could see, you can witness it. You could see them take that deep breath and that big sigh. So if anyone at any point is so skeptical and so not sure, just ask them, you want to just try right here just a little bit? Because you're not invading their space. You're not like putting 20 drops of oils on them. It's just one single drop just to try. If they don't feel anything, fine. More than likely they will, because, I'm sneaky like that.
Okay, how about this question? What if somebody is an empath or an energy worker, and they come across this conversation that we're having for the first time with, oils? So how can they use oils for their first time to create a greater protection or a shield around them? Because I'm sure that that's one of their main trials, is the constant, incoming and outgoing feelings of energy.
So I meet a lot of empaths, obviously. They're drawn to me, so they come across me all the time. And there's a lot of empaths in doTERRA. It's very common because you guys are like a bit hypersensitive. You pick up on things, like there's something about these oils. So they kind of live in a little bit deeper level than most of humanity. So most empaths, I would say probably 98% of them, which is a lot. So almost all that you encounter are awful with boundaries, and they take on people's stuff, and they don't know how to actually protect themselves. And so I recommend taking them through session 1 where you do the hook removal. But you know what? A lot of empaths are also possessed, because they tap into, some of them, especially psychics, I've noticed, tap into really dark energies and dark forces, and they get their information from demons and spirits. So they tend to be possessed people. If you see dark circles under the eyes right here, is where it's very, very like dark gray, that is a classic sign of possession problems. And also being very obese and overweight. A lot of empaths are obese, because when they get possessed, possessions have a very low vibration. They're like a black hole, and that's why they like to consume and eat lots of sugar or smoke cigarettes. It's a very consumptive thing when you're possessed. So what you just need to do is do the hook removal protocol in session 1, and then for protection, what they must do is for 1 month, putting On Guard and Melaleuca, 1 drop each, on the solar plexus for 4 weeks. And that will help develop, and not in those 4 weeks, if they need 1,000 feet of protection or 5,000 feet of protection, it'll happen whatever their body needs, and then they'll be fine after that. But I tell you, it's every single time. It's been very rare that I've seen an empath know how to protect themselves, because no one's taught them really, and some of them don't even know that they're empaths, and they think they're crazy. They think, oh, I have severe depression, I have severe anxiety. No, they're actually taking on other people's anxiety and sadness and so forth. It's not their own.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
It does. So they should give the first protocol which is hook removal.
Yeah, or possession removal.
Possession removal. Okay.
Yeah, possession removal, and then
protection.
Mm-hmm. And then protection.
Okay.
Yeah. Super simple.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm just excited. I'm excited to share these ideas with people. That's the end of my questions. Unless, Jackie, do you have any more questions, or Janet, do you have anything else you want to say?
I just have something that keeps pulling on my heart, is people, when you come, so it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a doctor, a politician, a celebrity, a mom, or an energy worker, your spirit is calling out to what you need. And so as you yourself raise, as you yourself improve and go through the course or whatever, go through the course. You are going to become so in tune to that. People no longer have these labels. They're just people, and you feel their pain in their heart. And the oil pops into your mind that they need. It just happens as you become in tune with who you are. Because these oils, just like I said in the beginning, your friends that light you up, or that make you laugh, or that make you cry. Here's my really good friend here. It's called Time. He is such a good friend to me. Anytime I'm around him, he makes me feel like I want to forgive people. and move forward. And here's my really, really good friend, Frankincense, who introduces me to truth whenever I come in contact with him. And my amazing friend, Myrrh, Mother Earth, who connects me to my mother energy and makes me feel like a rockin' mom and makes me love my mother and love her mother and makes me love Earth and makes me feel things. I just introduced them to my friends. If you need to meet my friend, Mother Earth, Mother Myrrh, I will take it in my hand, and I don't care who you are. You are a human being. You are a person. I don't care what education you have. If you need Myrrh on your heart, I will invite you to invite Mother into your heart. Or Peppermint, if you need a little bit of buoyancy in your life, not be so strict and stuck, then I will invite you to put some peppermint on your wrists and on your chest and on the back of your neck, wherever I feel you need it. I am no respecter of persons, and I will tell you what I feel like you need. And sometimes people aren't ready to put an oil on, and so I will send them love. I will attach my heart, and I will, in my mind, bear my testimony to them of who they are and what their potential is. I don't have to say a word. They can be all the way across the room and they don't even know I'm in the room, but I know they need it, and so I do it. And then the Lord sends me who's ready for me to introduce my friends to.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, Janet, that I love that they're your friends. And since all four of us we work with doTERRA and it's network marketing, it's like, this is a whole new level of networking, like introducing your friends to your other friends, your oil friends. Out of just the love that you have for them and the gift that they've given you. I just love it. I love it. Okay. Jackie, did you have something to add before we close?
I do, and I'd like to hear what Desiree and Janet, how they feel about this. But the easiest thing for me in the now, I feel like you guys are can feel, and sometimes I can too, but muscle testing, do you guys, I doubt you guys do it, but yeah. I feel like that's an easy thing to teach people, especially brand new moms, like holding a bottle up to your chest, and if it pulls you forward, you need it, and if it pushes you back, you don't. Like, I've explained that to some moms, because they've asked, well, how do I know if I need it or if my child needs it? And so I feel like a simple, easy way is to teach them how to muscle test themselves and their children, and then they become their own energy workers through muscle testing. How do you guys feel about that?
I can appreciate muscle testing. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but I currently don't use it, and I know some people benefit from it. I've also seen a lot of people get not the correct results. So I think you really need to study it to understand it, more in depth. I know the emotions code does a lot of that. For me, I think that it shouldn't be so elusive. I don't think people are meant to be so confused that they don't even know their own truth. So that's why I love the Awake Yourself program, because it gets you to a space of knowing. It gets you knowing you, So for example, when say an opportunity comes across, somebody wants to meet me for essential oils, if I get a really bad feeling in my gut, they are not going to be healthy for me or my team, I set that boundary, and I know right away. So you're going to know immediately if something is good for you or not. If I say the word kombucha right now, my body is screaming, oh no, not right now. And I could feel it in my body. I don't need to go through steps and procedures. So it's more about heightening your awareness, because for me, you get all the information. You'll get it in your head, you'll get it in your body, however you want to feel it. So I personally don't need it. To me, that's kind of very, people who are disconnected from themselves need muscle testing. But if you're connected with yourself, you don't need it. Personally.
I will say I started with muscle testing. And when I talk about my 5-year process, that was a start for me. It was that I started with muscle testing, and it was a nice adjustment for me, because I didn't like how Desiree saying, there was a level of I trust God 100%, but there's kind of this epidemic out there that says, but I don't trust myself. That, like, I say that because that's the energy that I feel when I hear, and I feel it in people. I can see it when you get this face, squinty eyes. That is your energy telling me that you don't trust yourself, and so you won't actually do it. And so there are certain people that I know they need to learn muscle testing because that's their stepping stone. But I will always testify that they have the power within themselves to just feel it. So you can take this step, or you can take the elevator up and just know that you have it in you to hear God's voice and feel it in your heart, and just know and trust yourself, love yourself. Put a little cassia right there and some bergamot. Put a little bit of sandalwood down your neck right here. And then ask yourself, what does my child need? What's going on? Grab a journal, and boy, will you get some information about what's going on with your child. Write it down. Put a little clary sage right here if you feel like you're ready for it. But you will visually see what's happening in your child's body. We are all entitled to these gifts. It's not just for the special or for the whatever. We choose it. It's in who you are. And I love to wake people up to that and to tap them into that, because it's just a faster way. It's an elevator rather than taking a step upon a step. Does that make sense? Because I don't want to put you down. If you feel like somebody needs muscle testing, teach them muscle testing, because that's what they're ready for. Don't second guess yourself, but always testify that they have it in them to feel what you feel. You're no better than them or less.
Right. Well, I think that's where I started too. So that's easy for me to teach other people. Like, I started here, so maybe you would want, but I understand where you're getting, and we're all, like, as a humanity, I feel like the good are getting better, right? And so, I mean, I think eventually we won't even have to talk. We'll just, like Desiree was saying, we'll just feel with our heart, and we'll be able to communicate that way. I feel like we're getting there, some of us faster than others maybe, but I was just wondering what you guys thought about that.
I love it. You are brilliant, Jackie. You are so connected to the mother heart. I want you to know that yourself. You are so connected, and you can trust any intuition that you receive for these mothers that are drawn to you. Okay?
Lovely.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I'm so grateful that we did this today. Okay, so I feel like going forward from here, we recorded this, and I'm gonna put it, where we can all access it, and put a link so that you can share it with anybody that you come across that you feel like would benefit from this conversation that we had. And I guess I would just say to those people that see this video, go back to the person that sent it to you and ask more questions, and take your journey. Like, don't just think about it. Take action and access the stuff that we're talking about, because it's available to everybody. Do you guys see that deer in my backyard in this video? Can you see it?
I saw some movement, yeah.
The deer can feel it.
He's attracted to
drawn to us. All right. Well, I think we'll close the interview. My kids are outside the door going, when are you going to be done? So anyway, thank you so much for your time, you guys. I look forward to talking to you again, and I can't wait to see you actually in September.
Yes.
So, we'll have to get together and have a little round 2 or something like that. So anyway.
Absolutely.
All right.
Ladies.
Thanks, ladies. Have a great day.
Jackie.
Bye.